My child, before you slip into another anxious thought, another worry, or the heavy demands of the day, step back. Do not rush past this quiet room. Do not look at these words as an accident. I often speak in a soft whisper, not because my voice is weak, but to reach your heart, but because I want you close enough to hear me over the noise of your fears. Step inside. Let your heart grow quiet. Let those hurried, exhausted places slow down. Let the heavy weight on your shoulders stop drowning out my love. I see how many demands have been pulling you away from this sacred space. Constant responsibilities, unfinished plans, family needs, and that relentless pressure to keep running even when your soul is completely exhausted. You learned to move fast because life demanded it. You learned to fix carry and decide keeping up appearances while your hidden inner room was crying out for rest. But this moment is different. I am not adding to your pressure. I am calling you into quiet awareness. A distracted heart cannot hear what I have to say. You cannot see the open doors when your mind is racing. Some answers do not come through loud noise, but as a deep, quiet knowing in your spirit. That is why I ask you to pause. Not because nothing is happening, but because something incredibly important is taking place right here. The world tells you to run faster when you feel lost, to search everywhere and compare your journey to others. It tells you to push harder. But my way is different. Before I show you the next step, I must first quiet this inner room and steady your pacing fears. I am bringing your breathing back into rhythm with trust. Do not fear. This message will awaken you, not frighten you. This is not a tense warning. It is an invitation to become aware. I am pointing you toward a new season that did not arrive by accident. What is stirring inside your quietest places is not random. It is not just emotion. A divinely appointed shift is beginning right now. I want your heart awake to receive it. You have lived through seasons where my silence felt heavy, wondering why answers took so long and why doors remained shut. You wondered why your deepest dreams stayed out of reach while daily life never changed. You tried to stay patient, but sometimes patience felt like hollow emptiness. You tried to believe, but faith felt like holding a candle in a storm. I saw that. I saw your struggle. I saw you turn toward me in the dark, even with a heart full of questions. None of it was wasted. Before we talk about what is opening up, you must let go of the habit of rushing past my voice. Stop measuring my timing by how fast your outer world changes. My greatest works often start as a quiet whisper before they become a clear path. A seed grows in the dark without making a sound. Dawn does not fight the dark. A river begins as a spring hidden deep under rocks. Do not despise these quiet beginnings. I am building a deep certainty in you. Emotions rise and fall, but my words will hold you steady. Your feelings may shake when nothing seems to change, but my promise remains firm. Do not just feel these words. Let them rest deep within your hidden inner room, like a quiet lamp, not shouting, but softly shining. Listen closely. This next season requires a heart that can truly hear me, not one controlled by constant panic. I do not want a heart trapped in the past or so hurt by waiting that it ignores hope when it knocks. You do not have to understand everything today. Just rest here and know that I am near. This stillness is not weakness. It is the posture of a tired child who finally trusts me enough to stop fighting. It means you will move forward from a place of peace, not fear. I have been preparing you for more than just survival. While you were just trying to get through the day, I was building depth inside you. I was teaching you to see clearly and growing your roots deep. I was quietly breaking the power of those old, painful patterns. So when the door opens, you will not run in out of desperation, but walk in with trust. That is why this moment of quiet matters. A hurried soul misses sacred signs. A bitter heart misreads blessings. And fear can turn an open door into a reason to worry. But a listening heart sees my hand. I am not far from you, shouting from a mountaintop, while you struggle down here alone. I am closer than your very breath, sitting with you in this hidden room, gently touching the quiet places where doubt has crowded you out. Let me have your attention and calm your restless thoughts. My voice will never crush you. It may wake you up, but it will never throw you into chaos. It may call you forward, but I will never abandon you on the road. This is only the beginning. Consider this the doorway before the doorway, the quiet space before action. My gentle hand on your shoulder before I show you what lies ahead. So pause, listen, and open up. Do not bring old fears into this new space. Do not let yesterday define what you receive today. My timing is perfect. Stay with me here because what I am revealing is connected to the path I have designed for you. As you listen with an open heart, you will realize that this seemingly ordinary moment was the exact second I chose to wake you up. Sit with me in this quiet, sacred room. I want you to feel what your soul already knows. The appointed hour is finally here. Not the moment your fears tried to force or your impatience begged for, but the perfect time I designed just for you. There is a big difference between wanting a door to open and hearing me say it is time. Waiting is painful, and desire gets loud. Hope wears thin when the journey drags on. But when I change the seasons, it is not because human emotions demanded it. It happens because I have measured the exact moment and set things in motion. Rest easy in this space. Something is shifting. What I held back, I am now releasing. What I protected in the dark, I am bringing to light. What was buried is finally starting to grow. My child, in this quiet sanctuary, I know how you have watched the years through the ache of endless waiting and unchanged seasons. You measured those long years by closed doors and silent questions, feeling your dreams were hidden behind a veil. But I never saw them that way. Where you saw slowness, I saw roots. Where you felt frozen, I was shaping you even while you wondered why nothing moved. I was preparing a breakthrough that would not collapse. Never call my quiet preparation absence, my timing neglect, or my deep silence forgetfulness. I was holding you close in the dark, waiting. And I am here as the doors open. Everything under heaven has its season, a time to plant and a time to harvest. There is a season to rest quietly in this safe place, and a season to rise with courage. Sometimes I shelter a seed in the deep dark, only to call it into the light. If a seed tried to burst open before its true moment, it could not survive the air above. If sweet fruit were picked too early, it would taste bitter. In this same way, I guarded you until your soul was deep enough to hold the blessing. The delay was never a punishment. It was absolute protection. I know this tender truth might sting because you have silently asked me why everyone else moved forward while you were left waiting. You watched them find answers, love, new doors, and visible healing, while you stayed tucked away here in this quiet, hidden room. You fought hard not to compare, but envy still knocked on your door. You wanted to celebrate them, but a quiet voice in your heart whispered, "Father, when is it my turn?" I heard that desperate whisper, and I did not judge you. I answered in love. Now listen closely. Never measure your path by someone else's clock. Their blooming is not the measure of your promise. Their open door does not mean yours is locked, and their harvest does not mean your seed has failed. I know the sacred rhythm written over your soul. I know the pace that heals instead of hurts. I know the exact moment your preparation meets my calling. That quiet meeting point is holy ground. My child, the moment I have appointed for you does not always arrive with loud noise. Often it starts as a gentle loosening inside this room. You notice fear losing its tight grip. You notice old toxic thoughts no longer holding sway over your mind. You feel a gentle courage rising where a heavy weight once sat. You cannot see every open door yet, but your spirit knows. Lean into that holy knowing. It is not wild imagination or simple wishful thinking. It is my spirit helping you recognize your new season. When the right moment arrives, I do not just change your circumstances. I change you from the inside out. Suddenly, that closed door looks like divine redirection instead of rejection. That painful delay begins to look like sacred preparation. A hard disappointment loses its power to define who you are. A long-buried dream will start to breathe again, not because you forced it to happen, but because my voice has whispered life over it. Receive this season with deep humility. Do not rush ahead in your excitement. Do not shrink back out of fear. Walk with me. Let my quiet peace dictate the pace, and let my whisper guide your next step. Let gratitude keep your spirit soft, and let wisdom steady your hands. This appointed hour is not a call to panic. It is an invitation to align with me. It is your heart agreeing with heaven, and your feet falling into step with my will. Your inner soul is finally ready to move free from the old dread of losing everything. My beloved child, the things you begged for years ago would have completely crushed the person you used to be, not because you were unloved, but because you were being shaped. Some blessings require a humble heart. Some doors require deep discernment. Some paths require quiet patience. Some breakthroughs require a soul that will not worship the gift more than the giver. That is why I took my time. That is why I corrected you in quiet whispers. I was not delaying love. I was deepening your heart for it. My child, lift your head. Now not with pride, but with readiness. The season of only waiting is shifting, and the dark night is not your permanent home. This closed room is not where you end. The soil beneath your feet is not barren. There are living seeds tucked away, waiting to burst forth. You do not need to force the sunrise, for it breaks because I command it. You do not need to shake the locked door. The door opens because I have ordained it. You do not have to prove your worth. You are mine before you ever receive what is coming. Let this sweet truth settle deep inside. This appointed time is not here to overwhelm you, but to awaken you, not to make you frantic, but deeply faithful. I am not pulling you from peace, but teaching you how to carry it. Stay close to me in this sanctuary. Let me show you why your waiting was never wasted. The empty years actually held secret lessons hidden, strengthening quiet mercy and divine preparation. As your heart begins to understand this, you will stop mourning the delay as if it stole your life. You will see that I used this quiet room to prepare you for the door that is opening now. My beloved child, as you realize that your appointed time is finally here, I want you to look back at the long waiting with fresh eyes. The waiting was never wasted. The silence was never empty. This delay was not a sign that I forgot you in the dark. I know how painful the waiting feels when your heart is bursting with promises, but your hands remain empty. I know how long the road feels as you keep praying, hoping, and showing up, yet see no answer. You wondered if time was slipping away and if the door would ever open for you. You feared your dream had grown too old to breathe. But in this quiet room, I heard every thought. I saw the tears you never explained, and I saw the immense courage it took to believe when nothing confirmed your faith. My beloved child, let this gentle truth anchor you. Waiting in my presence is never, ever wasted time. Waiting in my hands becomes holy transformation. It grows deep roots and prepares you beneath the surface. This safe room is the hidden sanctuary where I teach your soul to trust without sight. You thought you were held back, but I was holding you close even when you felt nothing was happening. I was doing what could not be seen. My child, a tree does not grow strong when the world is admiring its leaves. In your quietest depths, strength grows in total silence. Nobody applauds what happens beneath the soil of your heart. No one gathers to praise the hidden roots. But when storms hit, this secret foundation keeps you standing. That is what I built inside you. Quiet roots of patience, deep discernment, and true humility. Silent roots of endurance and surrender. In this quiet room, hear me opening doors too early would have only broken you. The blessing would have crushed you instead of helping you. A bigger space before your heart was steady would have brought too much pressure. Success before your inner life was ready would have ruined your peace. You would have held the gift, but lost your soul's peace. My delay was wisdom, not cruelty or cold distance. When your spirit is exhausted, waiting feels like abandonment. But in truth, my delay is just protection wearing a heavy veil. You wanted paths that looked bright from your view, but I saw the pain waiting there. You wanted to keep certain connections, but I knew they would steal your peace. Some open doors felt like answers, but their price was far too high. So I closed things you were not ready to understand. I slowed down your frantic rush. I let time show you what raw feelings could not see. Do not hate the waiting that actually saved your future. Do not resent the quiet season that taught you to recognize my gentle whisper. Do not mistake secret mercy for abandonment. Often that shut door was my hand protecting you from a life too small for your true purpose. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. Think of Joseph. His long journey of betrayal, isolation, and delay never looked like a promised path. The dark pit did not feel like prep work. The prison did not look like promotion. Those long years of waiting felt completely disconnected from his dream. Yet I was building his character in dark places nobody else saw. I formed wisdom, patience, restraint, and deep strength. When his moment finally came, he stepped out ready, not empty. It is the same for you. This quiet waiting has been working deeper than you ever knew. I used this silence to show you what was ruling your heart. Where fear screamed and where comparison stole your joy. Where you craved human approval and where impatience tried to run your life. I showed you these things not to shame you, but to free you. Your heart cannot step into a new season while carrying old heavy chains. So I worked tenderly, layer by layer, truth by truth, surrender by surrender. You might not see the changes yet, but heaven does. You are not the same person who started this wait. You have grown quieter and so much stronger. You have learned to speak to me with raw honesty. Your tears do not scare me. You know now that faith is not pretending everything is perfect. True faith is holding my hand while the mystery unfolds. That is beautiful to me. Your secret faithfulness matters deeply. Every heavy morning you got up mattered. Every tearful night you refused to quit mattered. Your quiet steps of trust mattered. Nothing you surrender to me is lost. Every silent yes, every weary breath, every whisper of prayer, and every honest choice you made in secret. Nobody saw when you chose forgiveness over bitter resentment. But I gathered it all. I never waste your hard-fought obedience, and I never waste your secret tears. I will not waste those years of pure survival. A beautiful harvest is hidden there, filled with quiet wisdom and deep, unshakable strength. Stop seeing this waiting season as a thief. It did not steal your life. In my hands, it was training for the future I have prepared. This time of waiting stretched your capacity and made room inside your soul. It taught you how to steward a blessing, not just want it. It taught you that my presence is not just in loud actions, but in the quiet peace that keeps you safe while the future remains invisible. Now that your breakthrough is close, do not carry old bitterness through the door. Do not be angry about the long hallway. Bring me the grief of waiting. Bring me your doubts and the pain of lost years. I will not push them away. I will heal you and show you what I was building. This waiting was never wasted. The hallway had a purpose. The hidden years held mercy, and the silence brought wisdom. Now, as you finally see this, your heart can let go of old hurts and welcome fresh grace. You are not stepping forward as someone robbed of their time. You are stepping out as someone pure and refined by my hand. Stay close. The next truth will deepen your awakening. I am not just opening a door. I am making everything new, not just around you, but deep within you, through you, and in the way you view the life I have been preparing this whole time. Now that you finally see this waiting was not in vain, I want you to understand what I am doing with your patient life. I am making all things new, not just one small part, not just the area that hurt the most. I am transforming the very foundation of your soul. So many ask me to alter their circumstances while keeping the same fears locked inside. They beg for a new door but cling to their old, broken identity. They plead for a new season but speak with the voice of the past. They ask for a new path, but walk as if yesterday still controls them. I love you far too much to merely decorate your outer life while your heart stays wounded. My promise of renewal is not a shallow, surface-level change. I am not just moving furniture inside a cramped room. I am opening windows, sweeping away the dust, strengthening walls, and teaching your soul how to breathe. In your hidden places, you learned to expect disappointment. Your thoughts grew comfortable with constant delaying. Your heart braced for bad news before hope could even arrive. Your dreams stopped looking up because they feared being crushed yet again. I saw all of it, and now I am speaking life into those hidden rooms. I am renewing your vision, not just your circumstances. I am renewing how you see my hand at work. I am renewing how you react when joy returns. The old season has left heavy dust on your soul. Even when doors open, you might still smell the smoke of what you survived. You might hear a promise and still feel the echo of an old ache. You stand at the edge of this new start, wondering if it will fade like the others. I see that doubt. I do not judge you for needing a fresh start. In this quiet space, I am here to give it to you. My child, let me wash away those old, heavy words you keep repeating. You do not have to keep saying that nothing ever changes or that defeat is just your destiny. Let go of the whisper that you missed your chance or that you are too broken to start over. Those thoughts felt real when you were hurting, but they are not the truth I speak into your heart. I call you chosen. I call you safe. I call you guided and still fully ready to receive the good things I have prepared. The shift begins when you trust my voice more than your past. Your history explains where you have been, but it was never meant to dictate where we are going together. Let your memories teach you, not imprison you. Let past pain make you wise, not completely closed off. I am gently showing you how to carry wisdom without carrying the weight of fear. I am teaching you to remember the past without letting it rule you. You do not have to drag those old, heavy chains into your tomorrow. Think of the morning dawn. The darkness does not fade because it fights with the sun. It simply yields because the light has arrived. You do not have to fight every shadow with panic. Let my light sweep through your past. Let my quiet truth enter the deepest rooms where fear has been sitting for years. Let my peace settle into those tense, tired corners of your mind. A beautiful new day never needs permission from the dark night, and my work within you does not need permission from your past. I am softening the places that disappointment tried to harden and reclaiming what shame tried to define. I am reviving the dreams that delay tried to wither. I am bringing back the courage you thought was buried and restoring the gentle tenderness life taught you to hide away. Never mistake your tenderness for weakness. A heart that softens in my presence is ready to receive. I am here to gently renew your daily rhythm. You have lived in survival mode for so long. Waking up just to carry the burden, fixing what you can, and merely enduring what you cannot. Then falling asleep with a restless mind. That cycle kept you going, but it was not truly living. It made constant pressure feel normal. Let me show you a different way. A rhythm of quiet, listening, deep trust and peace instead of panic. A rhythm of rest that still cares for your responsibilities without draining your soul. Do not ignore those tiny shifts. They are sacred beginnings, quiet proof that I am moving beneath the surface. When I make things new, my child, I do not erase the scars of your battles as if they never mattered. I redeem them. I take what hurt you and turn it into wisdom. I take what humbled you to deepen your empathy. I take the broken pieces to show how beautifully my grace can shine through the very places you tried to hide. When you surrender your scars to me, they lose their shame. They become a powerful testimony, a quiet reminder that you were always carried. This new chapter may not look familiar to you. Some doors will open in ways you never predicted, and answers will come from people you never expected. Healing might come slowly, like water gently soaking into dry soil. Change begins deep inside you before anyone else can see it. Trust this quiet, sacred work. I am making things new because I never intended for you to spend your life hiding in that cramped room built by fear. That old room was far too small for what I am building. The old labels cannot match the name I call you. Old patterns cannot hold the weight of my promises. Let them go. Release the belief that you must fail and let go of expecting rejection. Stop trying to protect your heart from hope. Receive this renewal with open hands. Do not try to control the process. Let me rebuild what fell apart. Let me clear away what cannot go with you into this new season, and let me restore what still has purpose. Let me show you how to live free from the past. I am transforming everything within you, around you, and before you. Stay alert, because a healed heart sees opportunities that a wounded heart might miss. The door I open for you will not always make a loud noise. It often arrives in quiet peace. It shows up in perfect timing, a gentle nudge or a quiet chance. When it arrives, do not let old fears blind you. I want you ready to see it, ready to believe, and ready to step forward with me. As I heal your inner world, I want your heart to be awake enough to recognize the path opening right in front of you. Do not miss this open door. Do not cling so tightly to yesterday that you miss the invitation of today. I know how exhausting the long wait has been for you. Your heart naturally becomes guarded, and your mind starts expecting another delay around every corner. Even when hope knocks, fear whispers not to answer because it will only hurt again. Even when the path clears, memory warns you to be careful because it failed before. But I'm not asking you to trust your history. I am asking you to trust me. My invitations rarely come with loud noise or instant certainty. Sometimes it looks like a simple choice that brings peace. Other times it starts as an ordinary conversation that changes everything. It might be a quiet urge to reach out, to forgive, to begin, or to try again, or to step toward a dream you had given up on. Keep your spirit alert. If you only listen for thunder, you will miss my gentle whisper. If you only watch for a massive gate, you will miss the narrow opening. If you demand to see the whole road first, here in your quiet heart, you might overlook the faint light I place at your feet. I often start small, not with a grand show, but to gently teach you trust. A tiny seed carries an entire forest. A single spark can banish the deepest darkness, and a small key opens a massive home. Do not look at these quiet beginnings and assume that is all I am doing. I love hiding massive breakthroughs inside your quiet steps of faith. The real danger right now isn't that I will fail to open the doors I promised you. No, the threat is that lingering fears might make you pause when I whisper for you to move. Or that old heartaches will make you second-guess the deep peace I am breathing into your soul. Past labels might whisper that you do not deserve this open door. That is exactly why I have been quietly healing and rebuilding your heart first. I never want you to step forward like a beggar hoping to be let in. Step through as my cherished child, guided by my voice, wrapped in my grace, and strong in what we built in this quiet room. My child, do not confuse true humility with shrinking back. Humility whispers, "Father, I need you," at every step. Shrinking tells you that you do not belong. Humility bows to me while shrinking bows to fear. One softens your heart, the other keeps your life small. I have not called you to hide in the shadows. I am calling you to stand in quiet peace. You might wonder, how do I know this door is yours? Listen closely. My door will stretch you, but it will never ask you to betray what is true. It will challenge your comfort, but it will never steal your peace. It demands courage, but it is never built on confusion, pride, or fear. Wherever I lead you, my presence walks beside you, and my wisdom clears the path. Test every door with prayer, with peace, and with the fruit it bears in your soul. Do not let the fear of making a mistake keep you completely frozen in place. I am not a harsh judge waiting to catch you in a mistake. I am your faithful Father, and I know exactly how to guide your willing heart. Walk gently with me, and I can redirect your steps. Listen, and I will guide you. Ask, and I will pour out my wisdom. You are far safer stepping out with me than staying frozen in fear. I know there were doors in your past that slammed shut, and it hurt deeply. Some closed without warning after you had already built a future in your mind. You wept in secret, wondering if I had only given you hope to break your heart. I want you to know that a closed door was never a sign that I stopped loving you. It was my protection, or my gentle redirection. It was my mercy whispering, "Not this room, not this heavy weight, not yet." Do not let the closed doors of yesterday make you fear the open doors of today. When I open a path for you, I do not always take away your anxiety instantly. True courage often takes steps while still trembling. Faith moves forward while still learning. Trust begins long before confidence feels whole. Do not wait until you feel completely fearless to step out. Look for my peace. When that quiet light shines, take just the very next step, not 10. This open door is about more than a change of scenery. Your old self might have rushed ahead in panic. Your wounded heart might have refused to try again, demanding endless proof before taking a single step. But the soul I am shaping knows how to breathe, listen, and walk in step with me. This is alignment, and it keeps your peace unbroken. Guard your heart carefully in this season. Keep out bitterness, which makes blessings look suspicious, and resist comparison, which makes your door seem so much smaller than theirs. Protect it from chaos, which drowns out the quiet whisper of my spirit. And guard it from pride, which turns a humble gift into a performance. Step through with thankfulness and wisdom. I am not opening this door so you can finally show those who doubted what you are worth. I am not leading you here to make you hurried or loud. I am opening what aligns with your purpose. I am opening a space for your healing. I am opening the very path I have spent years preparing for you. Do not lose sight of it by constantly looking behind you. Do not miss this moment by expecting it to fit your old plans. Do not turn away because the start is small or because you feel unworthy. If I'm calling you, my grace is already waiting. Stay alert, stay in prayer, stay tender enough to follow and strong enough to step through when it opens. The day is coming when you must answer, when you must stand up and take that step. And in that very moment, you will finally see what real transformation looks like when heaven visits a soul that has waited for so long. Soon I will show you a man who sat at a beautiful gate, asking only for enough to survive another day. Yet what I had waiting for him was not a simple coin of temporary relief. I had prepared a new way of standing, a brand new life. It was a door he never dreamed he could walk through. I do not want you to miss the beautiful transition I am bringing to your life. This story holds the exact frequency of your current season. Imagine a man sitting by a gate called Beautiful, brought there day after day while the world rushed past. Some pitied him, some tossed coins. Others ignored his deep ache entirely. He sat right at the edge of a sacred space, yet his life remained completely frozen. He was so close to the sanctuary, so close to prayer, yet he stayed stuck in his pain. The gate was beautiful, but his life was agonizing. I know the quiet places in your soul that feel just like that, so close to the promise, yet still waiting outside. You are close to hope, but still carrying heavy burdens. Do not feel ashamed if his story feels like a mirror for your own secret pain. I know the exhaustion of watching your life loop through the same quiet struggle, the same unanswered prayer, the same aching question in the dark. You wonder if today will bring real change, or if it is just another day to survive. I saw him, and I see you in that quiet room, settling for less, just to avoid hurting again. I see how you quietly let yourself go numb, not because you lost all faith, but because hoping again felt too heavy to bear. Yet my mercy has never left your side. It is waiting for the perfect moment to awaken the beautiful things that pain forced you to hide. He only asked for what he understood, hoping for just enough relief to survive until tomorrow. A few coins, a little break from the pain. He was not wrong to ask. Your heart only speaks from the depth of what it has survived. When survival is all you know, you ask only to endure, not to be transformed. But my plans are so much bigger. He wanted a moment of pity. I had prepared a lifetime of restoration. He reached out his hand for a coin, but I was about to pour strength into his very steps. Listen to me, my child. You have asked me for small things because life taught you to expect so little. You prayed for just enough to get by, while I was preparing a total renewal. You begged for a moment of relief, but I was busy building your testimony. You asked for a crack in the wall, but I was preparing a massive open door. I never judge your small, tired prayers. I understand them completely, but I am not limited by them. When help finally walked up, he looked up expecting the same old routine, but heaven was not bringing anything ordinary to his life that day. The appointed moment slipped in quietly during an ordinary silent prayer. No crowd gathered. No sign warned you that today everything changes. Yet in the quiet, heaven already knew. My timing was already set, and your answer was already moving toward your quiet heart. Beloved child, this is why you must never judge a day by its heavy start. An ordinary day can quietly hold a holy encounter. The routine place where you hide your pain can become your breakthrough. You do not know when your struggle ends. You do not realize the old, painful rhythm is about to break. The very place where you sat begging in secret is becoming the doorway to your beautiful testimony. My child, I can end a long cycle in a single quiet moment. What has repeated in your life does not have to define you. Your limits are not your name. What kept you trapped in silence has no power over your future. When my word whispers into your dark room, Your situation must yield to my voice. My child, I rarely give what you expect. I give what heaven has already prepared. In the name of Jesus, my command is whispering into your spirit to rise and walk. My hand reaches down. Respond to me. Divine strength is entering your weakness, and fresh movement is filling your quiet, heavy stillness. True praise is filling the hidden corner where you used to plead. Hear me now. The miracle is not just that you stand, but that your identity has changed. Others only knew you by your secret struggles and your repetitive pain. But when I touch your life, the old descriptions lose all their power over your quiet soul. You who were carried are going to walk. You are the living proof that I can rewrite your silent story in one single moment. My child, I am speaking directly to the hidden labels you wear. Disappointment gave you a name I never authorized. I am not bound by the titles your private pain gave you. I call you my beloved. I call you deeply seen. I call you capable of rising when I pour out my strength. But remember, there is a response needed from you. You must reach out, take my hand, and move with the promise I whisper to you. You do not heal yourself, but you must respond to what heaven is offering. When I offer my grace, stop holding on to the painful mattress of your past. When I call you forward, do not argue with the old, silent voice of hopelessness. When I plant strength in your soul, stop rehearsing your weakness in the dark. Rise with me, not by your own effort or perfection, but by my endless power. My child, your beautiful gait is a reminder that years of silent pain can lead to holy surprises. The exact place where you felt trapped will show my magnificent glory. The lonely routine you thought was defeat is becoming your testimony. Do not despise your waiting room. Do not hate the gate where you waited. Do not hate the quiet years when you had to be carried. I was right there in your room preparing your beautiful moment. My beloved, when you finally walk and praise me, others will see the real change. Your joy will not be a show. It will flow from a heart touched by mercy. I am awakening that real praise within your quiet heart. No forced religion, just pure joy knowing your Father reached into your trapped space and set you free to move. Your life can still move forward. Your hope can still rise. Your story can change. Listen closely to my whisper, because this is not about someone from long ago. It is about how I meet you inside your secret limitations and call you far beyond them. As you quietly receive this truth into your heart, I will teach you to stop naming yourself after your mistakes. The name I whisper over your life is far stronger than the dark floor where you have been sitting. Now that you see how I call you beyond your limits, let us talk about that heavy name you quietly gave yourself in secret. Stop calling yourself a failure. Stop repeating a judgment I never wrote over your soul. Stop letting one season, one mistake, or one closed door dictate the worth of your entire life. My child, I know the silent words you whisper to yourself in the dark. I failed. I am too far behind. I missed my chance. I always lose what matters most. I am never chosen for good things. I only get close, then watch the door slam shut. Those silent thoughts have deeply wounded you. A repeated lie becomes a mental cage. But I am here to break that silent agreement today. My beloved, failure is merely an event, not a person. It is not your name. Disappointment is just a passing season, not your identity. A closed door only redirects you. It is never proof that you are rejected. A mistake is meant to teach you, not to own you. Never let temporary moments become permanent titles. You are not your lowest point, nor what went wrong. You are not the cruel sentence fear whispers in your ear. You are my child. There is a vast difference between learning from the past and living under it. Learning brings wisdom, but living under it brings chains. Wisdom whispers, "Father, show me what needs to change." Shame whispers, "There is no point in trying again." Wisdom leads you forward with quiet humility, but shame keeps you trapped right where pain broke you. I do not call you to shame. I am calling you to rise. My child, do not confuse my correction with condemnation. My correction comes with gentle light and a pathway forward. It gently reveals what needs healing, correction, or surrender. But condemnation brings heavy darkness and no hope, whispering that because you stumbled, you are completely finished. It tells you that I have abandoned you because of your mistakes. That is not my voice. My voice may correct you, but it never crushes you. My voice reveals truth, but never steals your hope. It may ask you to transform, but it will never say you are beyond my infinite love. My child, hand me the cruel names pain gave you in secret. Bring me the name failure. Bring me the name rejected and the name forgotten. Bring me the name too late, not enough, and always overlooked. Lay them at my feet like old, tattered clothes that no longer fit the beautiful soul I am restoring. You have worn those heavy rags for too long. They do not belong on you, my precious child. Remember the prodigal son returning home. He walked home rehearsing his speech of unworthiness. He carried deep shame and felt unfit to be a son. Yet his father refused to let that quiet shame have the final word. The father ran to him, embraced his brokenness, clothed him, and welcomed him home. He did not deny the past, but he revealed a far greater truth. Sonship was stronger than failure. Love was far stronger than shame. Restoration healed the distance. My child, that is how I see you today. I do not ignore the areas that need healing, but I will never reduce your worth to the painful chapters that hurt you. I see who I created. I see the soft, quiet part of you that still hears my voice. I see your faith flickering after so many harsh winds. I do not overlook that tiny spark. I am guarding it. I gently breathe on it to make it burn warm again. My child, stop hurting yourself by holding on to an old self that I am lovingly stripping away. Sometimes it is hard to accept a new path because the old heavy one feels familiar. You have learned to live small, hiding from blame, expecting so little, never taking a risk, and burying your hope. But I never created you to live small under a label that is not yours. I am calling you into the truth, even if it feels strange right now. It might feel awkward to whisper, "I am loved," when you have felt forgotten for so long. It feels strange to say, "I am being made whole," when you still see broken pieces. It feels hard to say my story is not over when the past keeps trying to close your book. Say it anyway. Let this new truth slowly become your home. My child, the words you believe become seeds in your soul. If you keep agreeing with defeat, those thoughts will grow like weeds and choke out your hope. If you keep letting shame speak, it will stifle the soft life I am bringing back. But if you begin to trust my voice, even slowly with a shaking whisper, new life will start to break through the soil. Speak my words, not to pretend you were never hurt, but to declare that your pain does not rule you. Not to ignore the past, but to show that I am far greater than it. My child, stop defining yourself by what closed. Name yourself by what I have opened. Stop letting other people's misunderstandings define you. Trust what I know about you. Stop believing what fear predicted and start living in what my grace has already started. You are deeply loved. You are fully seen. I am still shaping you, and your story is not over. You are never too late for mercy, nor disqualified from my love. My child, when you accept who I say you are, you stand differently. You stop walking into rooms feeling like you have to apologize just for existing. You stop expecting every new path to end in rejection. And you stop walking as if your past still owns the very ground beneath your feet. A child who truly knows they are loved moves differently, not with pride or carelessness, but with steady peace. That is my wish for you, a calm heart and a new identity. My precious child, I do not expect you to forget everything you went through. I am simply asking you to stop letting it define you. I can heal those painful memories. I can mend what still aches, turning wounds into wisdom and empathy. But you must stop writing failure across your own heart. That old contract is void. That heavy label has lost its power, and that critical voice is no longer your master. My child, listen to my voice instead. Let me rename you. Receive the quiet grace to stand back up. You are not going back to the old life as the same wounded soul. You are rising with a brand new strength. Once you walk in the name I give you, you will understand this deeper truth. The doors I open for your life do not depend on the verdicts of your past, the opinions of others, or the loud resistance of fear. What I open, no one can shut. My dear child, now that you are letting go of the word failure, lift your eyes and trust my hand. Remember, what I choose to open, no one can ever close. What I set in motion, no one can cancel. What I let go, no voice of fear can hold back. This truth is not meant to make you reckless. It is here to make you secure. You used to think your life depended entirely on other people's approval, or whether circumstances lined up easily, whether you were noticed by the right people. You watched every door carried heavy disappointments and feared that one simple rejection had ended your entire future. But I am the one holding the key. Not your history, not the whispers of others, and definitely not the fear that creeps in at night, nor the long delays that made you feel stuck. My child, when I open a door, I do not ask fear for its permission, nor do I consult your past for approval. I never ask the doubters if they agree with my choices. I speak, and the way opens before me. When I place my hand on the latch, what seemed locked forever begins to yield. So please stop trembling in front of closed things. A shut door in one season is never stronger than my command. A wall standing for years cannot withstand the perfect timing of my breath. A refusal from people is nothing compared to my yes when the hour arrives. My child, so many times you stood before an impossible wall and thought, this will never change. You stared at the lack, the silence, and the vast distance, the overwhelming details, and your heart grew weary. You tried to find a way out, but every road seemed blocked. Yet my power is never limited by what you can see. I can carve a path through what looks completely solid. I can make a way where no human plan could ever find one. Don't measure my power by your limited options. My dear child, the way I open might not look like what you expected. Sometimes you pray for one specific door, and I gently lead you to another. Sometimes the door you wanted would have kept you hiding, while the one I prepare grows you into your true purpose. Sometimes the rejection you mourned was just mine, hand pulling you away from a space too small for who you are becoming. So trust me when a door opens, and trust me when it shuts. Trust me in the waiting. Trust my redirections. Trust me when I say, not there, my child, walk this way instead. I know the quiet ache of standing before a closed door. I know the sting of a shattered hope. I know how your heart secretly worries that every future door will slam shut in the exact same way. But hear me now. One closed door is not a promise of endless rejection. It is only one door, and it has no power over the beautiful future I have for you. Don't build a prison out of a single disappointment. Stop honoring what didn't open for you and stop playing the painful sound of a latch that stayed shut. I am doing something much greater. The path I opened for you brings peace even when it takes courage. It might challenge you to grow, but it will never ask you to lie. It may lead you into the unknown, but you will never step outside of my presence. It might ask for trust, but it will always give you grace for the step. When I open a way, I support you. When I call, I give you strength. When I lead, I walk right there ahead of you, my precious child. Don't confuse an open door with an easy path. Some doors lead to deep responsibility, and others lead to stretching growth, hard choices, and changes that require you to mature. But if I have opened it, the grace you need will always meet you there. Do not judge the path ahead by the weight of the challenge. Feel my peace and let my truth guide you. You are never walking alone, my child. Sometimes the door opens slowly, a tiny crack, a soft light your name whispered, a returned message, a brief opportunity, or a persistent thought that lingers because my spirit is breathing life into it. Do not look down on slow beginnings. A great door turns on the smallest hinge. Morning starts with a single pale line on the horizon, and a miracle often begins with a quiet, whispered instruction. Keep watch. Remain humble. Be ready. My dear child, the enemy wants you to miss my open door by staring at the broken locks of your past. He wants you asking why that door slammed shut until you miss the new way opening beside you. He wants bitterness to blind you and fear to freeze your steps. But I am healing your heart. I am restoring your name. Your weary spirit is learning to hear my quiet voice once more. My child, when I open the door, you won't have to beg. You won't have to prove you deserve my love, nor drag your old shame into this beautiful new space. Walk in as one who has been guided. Enter knowing every true blessing comes from me. Come with a grateful heart, not expecting a reward. Step through with peace, not panic. Do not rush forward and do not fall behind. Walk with me. Let me lift the heavy lie that everything depends on your own strength. Yes, you must answer. Yes, you must follow. Yes, you must take the step when my light shines. But the breakthrough does not come from your endless striving. It comes from my hands. A key is tiny, but when I hold it, it unlocks what human effort could never force open. My child, I hold the key. I know the perfect hour. I know the right door. I see the path ahead, and I am preparing you for what waits there. Rest your weary heart, my child. There is a door no old mistake can lock. There is a path no past failure can wipe away. Your place is secured by my wisdom, untouched by human applause. When I declare the time, the seasons must change. When I say rise, your heart will awaken. When I command you to enter, closed doors must yield to my voice. So lift up your head, not with pride, but in deep trust. This open door is not a reward for being perfect. It is a movement of grace and timing. And as you step through, you will see that I am not just opening a path. I am setting off a sacred acceleration in your life. My precious child, as you accept this truth, that I open doors no one can shut, I want you to feel another movement of my guiding hand. I can quicken what has crawled for so long. I can breathe on delayed years, bringing a rush of momentum you could never create by exhausting yourself. My child, do not mistake my divine pace for the frantic pressure of this world. The world rushes out of fear of being left behind. It runs on the lie that everything depends on human sweat. It pushes, competes, and drains your soul until forward motion is nothing but exhaustion. I do not lead you that way. When I speed things up, I do not drive you like a threatened slave. I lift you up, a child cradled in grace. I steady your steps, weaving timing, favor, and deep courage together in ways your own plans could never align. My beloved child, remember Elijah. After fire fell from the heavens, after truth was laid bare, and after everyone saw that I alone am God, the rains finally returned. The parched earth was about to drink. The barren sky began to fill with heavy clouds. And then my mighty hand rested upon Elijah. He did not run on human stamina. My power carried him. He outran Ahab's chariot all the way to the gates of Jezreel, not because he had trained to defeat kings, but because heaven touched his pace. My child, I want you to understand this deeply. When my hand touches you, the pace of your life changes without crushing your soul. Divine acceleration is never frantic or chaotic. You might feel left behind, looking at the years, thinking too much time has slipped away, while you watched everyone else move forward. But I am never bound by the calendar that wounded your heart, my child. I can use one single season to redeem years of delay. One step can carry the weight of 1,000 quiet prayers. Obedience will carry you further than worry ever could. Do not call this delay permanent. Your slow season is not proof that you are stuck forever. A field looks barren before it suddenly turns green because life was working underground. My acceleration is always born from hidden, quiet preparation. Elijah did not outrun that chariot without a history of trusting me. He had listened in the quiet, secret places. He had obeyed hard instructions. He had trusted me beside a dry brook and accepted help from the most unexpected hands. He stood alone when truth needed a voice. Your public rise comes after private formation. Do not hate the quiet years. They were never a waste of time. They are the holy training ground before I touch your pace. My child, there are gifts inside you that fear has buried deep. There are ideas that doubt has covered up. There are dreams that long, painful waiting has made quiet. Relationships, callings, and opportunities seemed far away not because they were dead, but because the time wasn't right. Now my breath is moving, and what lay dormant is waking up. What crawled will now flow. What was blocked will open. What felt heavy is starting to lift. But listen closely to my whisper, my child. I do not speed your journey so you can boast or compare yourself to others. I do not bring this rush so pride can crowd out your humility. I quicken what serves my purpose. I speed up what walks in obedience and is fully surrendered to me. This is holy movement. My dear child, you will recognize my pace because your peace will never leave you. You may act quickly, but chaos will not rule your heart. You will face hard decisions, but my wisdom will guide you. You may feel stretched to your limits, but never abandoned. As you step into unknown places, my presence will anchor your soul. If life speeds up, but peace vanishes, pause and listen. If progress demands compromising your truth, step back. If progress feeds your pride but weakens your obedience, let me gently correct you. My acceleration always reflects my character. My child, I see the fear hidden in your quiet space, worrying you will fall behind when life speeds up. But the very love opening this door is also holding you up, giving your weary steps the strength to cross over. The same presence guiding you out is holding your hand right now. You are not meant to carry this heavy season by yourself. My dear one, I never wanted you to live in a rush. Just stay close enough to hear my whisper. When I ask you to rest, find peace instead of worry. When it is time to stand, let go of doubt. When it is time to move, Step forward with courage. The call itself holds the power you need. That is how Elijah ran, held close in my safe grip. My child, I am here to bring rhythm back to your tired soul. Your heavy steps are growing lighter. Your clouded thoughts are clearing up. The heart that felt completely empty is starting to feel warm again. I am rebuilding your inner strength from the inside out. I am expanding your soul, giving you room to believe, to trust, to heal, and to hold the beautiful things I am preparing for you. Do not let the quiet, empty days of your past convince you that nothing is changing. Yesterday was only getting you ready for today. Your quiet struggles built strength. Your future will bring moments of courage. You felt invisible back then, but soon you will step forward faster than you ever imagined. Keep your heart soft and deeply grounded. Growing too fast brings pain, but rooted growth brings beautiful, lasting fruit. That is why I kept you in this quiet room so long. I needed your soul settled before life sped up. I wanted deep peace, not temporary excitement. I wanted your trust to run deeper than your feelings. Rest your heart now. The love that brings rain after a dry season will bring movement after your long wait. The same power that held the ancient prophets is holding you steady. The one who turns a quiet season into a beautiful journey will guide you when the moment is right. Do not try to force this and do not fear it. Just walk beside me. This beautiful momentum I am bringing is not meant to make you rush. It is designed to bring you into perfect harmony. It is leading you to your true home, where your unique gifts, healing, and deeper purpose finally come together. As everything begins to unfold, you will see that you are not just traveling. You are being placed exactly where you belong. My dear child, as gentle progress starts to heal the slow, painful areas of your life, know where we are going. Your true home is opening at just the right moment. This is more than a brief window of luck. It is a sacred space. There is a great difference between a passing moment and a permanent place in my heart. A quick moment lifts your spirit, but a true home anchors you. It is the fertile soil where your heart can grow. It is where your recovery and my perfect timing finally meet. I am doing more than showing you the way. I am placing you where you belong, because you have felt lost for so long. You have stood in doorways feeling like there was no room for you, watching others find their spot, while you remained in the shadows. You held so much love in your heart, wondering who would ever cherish it. You knew deep down that you were meant for more than this quiet life. I felt that silent ache. I saw how much it hurt to feel so out of place, whispering to me, "Where do I fit?" Trust me, your worth is not made by others. You do not have to force yourself into rooms where you do not feel safe, nor do you need to copy anyone else or shrink your light to make others comfortable. This sanctuary is designed for you with perfect love. Do not exhaust yourself fighting for doors that were never meant for you. Never worry about losing what I have freely given you. When I bring you home, I am changing more than just the scenery around you. I am bringing peace to your soul so you can stand tall, love others without burning out, accept grace without guilt, and live your truth without any fear. I'm not putting you on display just for show. I am setting you there so my kindness can flow through you. Unprepared spaces only bring heavy pressure. A duty without surrender becomes a heavy burden. Even a beautiful blessing can trap you without a gentle heart, but a heart that has rested in me can stand firm anywhere. Never mistake being hidden for being rejected. My deepest works of love are always prepared in quiet, secret places. A seed must grow deep in the dark soil before it reaches for the sun. A foundation is laid in the dirt long before the beautiful home rises. A lamp is filled with quiet oil before it lights up a dark room. Your time in the shadows was never wasted. You were being shaped with care. I know there were long seasons when you felt pushed to the very edge, close enough to see your dreams, but unable to touch them. That quiet ache was painful, but I used it to heal you. I wanted to show you that your true value does not come from others, meaning no one can ever give it to you, and no one can take it away. Your beauty is safe with me. Your purpose is held by me. I am the one opening this door. This is not about building your ego. This is about finding the right people, the right pace, and the gentle tasks that make your weary soul feel completely at home. You can stand in the brightest spotlight and still feel completely lonely and cold inside. Yet you can sit in a quiet corner and feel completely safe, loved, and held. Do not judge your progress by how many people notice you. Measure it by the deep quiet in your soul. When this new path opens, it is natural to feel both thrilled and a little afraid. Do not worry. New beginnings always stretch the heart. It is asking you to let go of the small, guarded version of yourself you built to survive, to stop waiting for life to start, and step into being trusted. I want you to see yourself through my eyes of love, not through your old worries. Let me guide you through this change. There is no need to hurry and no need to hide. Remember, I am not opening this path just to show everyone who doubted you that they were wrong. I am doing this to show you that my promises were always true. If you enter trying to win an old argument, bitterness will follow you inside. But if you step in with a thankful heart, this space becomes sacred. Leave your old hurts and the need to compare yourself outside. Leave the pressure to prove your worth at the doorstep. Step inside with a quiet mind, my dear one. This space is made for your gentle, healed heart. Your purpose isn't always loud. It can be a quiet word, a mother's gentle hand, a hidden responsibility, a mended bond, or a silent, creative spark. It might be a small task that silently touches a soul you haven't met. Never look down on these quiet beginnings. My child, my calling often starts in a silent room. There are no loud trumpets or cheering crowds, just a gentle, sacred whisper that feels right. A quiet knowing deep inside that tells you this is your place and this is what you must protect. Follow that gentle peace in your heart. My beloved, I know you have felt so unprepared. You look at your hidden flaws and worry they make you unworthy of my love. But being ready doesn't mean you stop trembling. It simply means having a heart that listens, a spirit that is humble, and a willing step to take. It is trusting that wherever I place you, my grace is already waiting. Your new path is opening, my child, but do not walk into it with old fears. Leave the heavy words of failure outside this sacred room. Do not bring the fear of being rejected into the path I designed for you. Leave your survival defenses behind. Let me show you a new way to stand in this quiet room as my child, peaceful and pure. Rest in my quiet peace. I am already arranging every detail behind the scenes, the right moments, the gentle corrections, and the perfect timing. I am closing doors to protect you and opening the right ones. So take a deep breath. You do not have to force this path. It is opening because I chose it for you. As you sit with me in this quiet space, you will see how my hidden plans unfold. You might feel completely unnoticed for years, yet I have positioned you precisely for the rebuilding I planned. This is why I want to share Nehemiah's story with you. His ordinary daily job was actually a quiet school for a holy purpose. My beloved child, as your own path begins to clear, I want to show you how I use routine moments to shape you. Remember, Nehemiah wasn't standing on a grand stage when I called him. No crowds cheered for him. No one knew him as a future leader or restorer. He was simply serving quietly in a foreign palace, holding a cup. From the outside, his life seemed small and repetitive. He was bound by routine, serving in the shadows of power. But he wasn't the king. His true calling was tucked away inside. To others, he was just holding a cup. But I saw the destiny hidden in his daily work. That is my way. I hide great purposes in small routines preparation, in quiet service, and a beautiful future inside a tiny room. You have lived through seasons just like that, my child. You did the chores. You served quietly. You waited in the dark. You carried your burdens alone and wondered if your life would ever mean more. You felt completely invisible. But I saw you every moment. His calling didn't start with cheers. It began with a heavy ache in his soul. When he heard that his home lay in ruins, his heart broke. He couldn't ignore the pain. He wept, prayed, and fasted in his quiet room. He brought that sorrow straight to me instead of complaining. Look closely at this. A secret calling often starts when your heart breaks for what I want to heal. Not all pain is meant to break you. Some hurts are silent invitations. When I allow your heart to ache for the broken, for a wounded family, a forgotten dream, or a ruined life, it is because I am waking up the sacred purpose inside you. That heavy feeling is not a punishment. It is my hand gently guiding you toward what we will rebuild together. Nehemiah did not rush forward in pride. He knelt before me in secret. He listened and waited. The weight he carried didn't make him reckless. It made him fall to his knees. That is how pride differs from my call. Pride runs to be noticed. A true calling kneels to be led. I'm teaching you this same lesson. Before I send you out, I teach you to pray. Before I hand you tools, I steady your heart. Before I open the outer door, I prepare your heart in this quiet room. You may want the whole map, but I guide you step by step. First, I give you a burden. Then I call you to pray. Next, I open a door, grant you favor, and give you wisdom for the very next step. This is not a delay. It is divine order. When I call you to step out, I will never leave you with empty hands. I might not give you everything up front, but you will have exactly what you need as you take steps. The right helper will arrive on time. The right words will come when you need them. Courage will rise when you step forward. Trust my timing and my endless supply. Trust the quiet things I am arranging for you. Nehemiah's daily routine was not an accident. It was my strategy. He was close enough to the king to ask for help. What looked like an ordinary job was actually perfect positioning. His simple service was preparation. His small role was tied to a massive plan. Never despise where you are today. I use mundane moments to open sacred doors. I will grow your character in the quiet room, then send you out. Today's secret faithfulness builds tomorrow's open highway. Even when you feel completely hidden, I see the path ahead. When Nehemiah reached the broken city, he didn't boast. He quietly studied the ruins at night. Those I send do not act on raw emotion. They walk in wisdom. They watch, listen, and understand. They don't just make noise. My child, you too have broken walls. I want you to rebuild. Bring peace back to your home. Quiet habits to your days. Trust after disappointment and hope after feeling so incredibly lost and scattered. Do not stare at the wreckage and think it is hopeless. I heal through willing hands and restore through listening hearts. My beloved child, The moment you begin to heal doubts and critical voices will try to steal your quiet peace. I know fear tried to slow your hands. That always happens when you step into your calling. People will doubt your strength and remind you of the old ruins. They will try to drag you into arguments. Do not step down from the sacred work I gave you. Stay focused, wrapped in my peace. Remember, Nehemiah did not rebuild alone. I brought people together, each tending to their own peace. Your purpose was never meant to be carried entirely on your own shoulders. I'm bringing the right souls to help you. Do not let fear or pride lock you away in isolation. Accept help with wisdom and offer it with love. Build with the quiet trust that this work is mine. My dear one, your secret mission might not look like a massive wall. It might look like healing your home. It might look like sparking a little hope, or simply teaching listening, forgiving, and finding the quiet courage to start all over again. It might mean being a steady light in a weary place. Never think your calling must be dramatic. In my kingdom, soft, quiet obedience rebuilds more than you know. I am opening this space for you because there is real work waiting. Not a heavy load to crush you, but a path of deep meaning far from empty fame. I'm inviting you into a season of deliberate restoration. Everything I grew inside you during the long wait will now bless whatever your hands touch. So stay open, surrendered, and alert. Remember, before Nehemiah ever laid a single brick on that wall, I was building him. And that is exactly what I am doing with you. I have quietly planted faith where fear used to rule, poured wisdom where confusion whispered, and woven deep strength into the places where discouragement once made you feel weak. As your path becomes clear, I want you to see that you do not have to step through this next doorway carrying all your old wounds. You do not have to be rushed or cold. Before I lead you forward, I will tenderly tend to the exhausted corners of your soul. My precious child, as I show you this secret path and the strength I have grown inside you, let me share something very gentle. Before you walk through that new door, I am not just preparing your hands. I am healing your heart. My child, I know how long you have been strong, carrying heavy burdens while keeping a smile on your face. You whispered prayers when you were exhausted. You kept walking even when your soul felt bruised, telling yourself to push through because others were counting on you to hold it all together. I saw that fierce strength, but I also saw the deep hurts it could not mend. I felt the quiet ache hiding right beneath your obedience. I watched the exhaustion resting under your faithfulness. I saw the parts of you that kept serving while silently begging for rest. My dear child, before we step forward, I do not want you crossing this threshold with a heart that is still bleeding from yesterday. You should not step into a new season with old pain acting as your constant companion. Do not mistake a hardened heart for maturity or pure exhaustion for faith. I come to you gently now, not to hold you back, but to restore your soul. My child, true healing must come before you can run freely. An injured runner can still push forward, but every single step only deepens the wound. A fractured jar can hold water for a little while, but pressure will always find the crack. A tired soul can still perform, but it slowly bleeds out all its joy. I'm not asking you to perform for me. I am inviting you to be whole. My dear child, the doorway ahead is not designed to crush your spirit. It is not a test to prove your worth, nor does it ask you to lock away your humanity to carry more. The door I open is paved with grace, and grace never ignores the wounds of the heart walking through it. That is exactly why I am pausing here with you. I gently place my hand on your tired shoulders. I speak peace over your restless thoughts and breathe warm life back into the quiet spaces that stopped expecting kindness. I know some of your wounds came from the agonizing wait, some from deep disappointments, and others from people who simply could not see the massive weight you carried. Some hurts grew when you hoped with all your heart, yet the answer never came. You kept moving, but a secret part of you learned to guard itself against ever hoping again. I see that protective wall. I do not judge you for it. I only want to heal it. My precious one, healing is rarely loud. Sometimes it is just tears finally letting go. Sometimes it is a long, deep breath you did not realize you were holding. Sometimes it is looking back at the past only to find the sharp sting is finally gone. Sometimes it is just having the room to say, "Father, I was hurt there, and I need you." Please do not hide those tender places from me. Do not try to clean up your pain for my sake, or pretend you are fine when I already know the truth. I am incredibly gentle with what others handled so carelessly. I will never snap a bruised reed, nor blow out a flickering flame trembling in the cold wind. I know exactly how to shield your weakness until your fire burns bright again. I know how to cradle what is fragile without breaking it. You are completely safe with me, my child. You might have thought the next season demanded you to be tougher. You thought maybe I have to stop feeling so deeply. Maybe I must silence this tender heart. Maybe I should lock away my hope, because hope has wounded me before. But I did not design you to turn into stone. I made you to become deeply rooted. There is a difference. Stone cannot receive the rain, but roots can. Stone never grows, but roots do. Stone might resist the storm, but roots drink in life, growing incredibly strong beneath the soil. My dear one, I am not turning your heart to stone for this new season. I am deepening you, anchoring your spirit in peace without ever letting your love grow cold. I am teaching you to be wise without becoming suspicious, to be strong without closing yourself off, and to move forward without losing the gentle softness that reflects my love. My precious child, let my healing seep in slowly if it must. Do not rush yourself simply because you feel you should have moved past all of this by now. I do not measure your recovery by the standards of human impatience. I am not standing over you with a ticking clock. My healing comes like gentle morning light creeping into a room, softly, patiently, and faithfully, warming one dark corner at a time until the shadows completely fade away. Let me take my time with you, not because I am slow to love, but because I am so careful with what is precious. My child, old memories have altered the way you listen. When kindness is offered, you still wonder if it will suddenly vanish. When a new door opens, you instantly brace for it to slam shut. When peace arrives, you find yourself waiting for the next storm. That is exactly what old pain does. It secretly trains the soul to expect another wound. But I am retraining you here in my presence, teaching your heart to expect my deep care, and helping your breath to slow under my hand. I am showing your soul that deep peace is real, not just a passing dream. My precious child, let this healing settle inside you before you step forward. Let me pull out the splinters of old hurts. Let me wash away the dust of exhausting years from your feet. I want to quiet that voice telling you to run, strive, perform, and guard yourself against more pain. You do not have to step through this new door wearing heavy armor. Let me cover you instead, healing you with my gentle touch. You will walk with a new rhythm. You won't grab at things out of fear, nor will you push away blessings because you are suspicious. You won't mistake quietness for danger anymore. You won't look at a fresh start and expect the old pain to repeat itself. Your heart is going to find its steady beat. You will receive life with a softer soul and serve others with pure joy. My dear child, this healing is the preparation. It is not a detour from your path. A mended heart hears my whisper. A quiet soul makes wise choices. When you are healed, you can pour into others without spilling old bitterness. So just rest right here. Let me soothe your deep exhaustion, mend where you have been stretched thin, and bring back the song that waiting almost silenced. That new door is waiting, but my love is not going to rush you past your own healing. I am close enough to guide you and gentle enough to make you whole. Once my touch quiets the storm inside you, we'll finally recognize my voice not just in dramatic power, but in the soft, quiet whisper that breathes when the wind dies down. My precious child, as my healing hand calms the waves inside you, I want to teach you to know my voice once the noise has faded away. I do not always live in the loud things, the shaking ground, or the dramatic signs your fear begs to see. Sometimes I simply come as a quiet, gentle whisper. You have survived storms that shook your private world, winds of deep uncertainty, fires of disappointment, and sudden earthquakes of change. Those moments when everything felt chaotic, loud, and unstable. You wanted quick answers because the pressure on you was just too heavy. You wanted a sign so clear it would crush every doubt instantly. I understood that. When your pain gets loud, your heart naturally wants heaven to speak even louder. But hear me now. My authority does not need to shout to be real, and my presence does not need a grand spectacle to be close to you. My guidance does not have to scare you to be powerful. My dear child, think of Elijah after his long, exhausting battle. He had seen fire fall from heaven. He had stood brave. He had watched my power show the truth to everyone. Yet right after his soul crashed, he ran away and hid. He felt completely abandoned, crushed by sheer exhaustion. But I did not show up with anger or judgment. I gave him food, let him rest, and built up his strength again. Then I met him on the mountain. My child, a wind came that was strong enough to shatter rocks. There was a great earthquake, then a fire. Yet I was not in any of those dramatic things. After all that noise, there came a soft whisper, a voice so quiet he had to lean in, yet powerful enough to reshape his entire path. And that is how I want to come to you now. Not to crush you, but to steady you. Not to overwhelm you, but to guide you. Never assume that just because a moment is quiet, it is empty. The quiet is usually the very room where I speak clearest. Silence does not mean I am gone. Sometimes silence is just me clearing away the noise so you can hear my voice without distraction. The world has trained you to trust whatever screams the loudest, making you believe panic is truth, that pressure is guidance, and that stressful thoughts must be obeyed. But fear, anxiety, shame, and your old wounds can all shout very loudly. But my voice speaks in a completely different way. It comes as a deep peace beneath the surface, or a gentle, quiet knowing that simply stays with you. It might show up as a calm warning free of chaos. It might just be one simple next step. My child, learn to recognize the sound of my nearness. My voice will never stroke your pride or feed your bitterness. It won't push you into confusion, and it will never call you worthless. I will never disguise your fear as wisdom. When my voice corrects you, it carries mercy. When it challenges you, it always brings a deep, settling peace. I might ask you to wait, but I will never abandon you in that waiting. This is why a quiet heart is so vital. A restless soul hears 100 echoes and mistakes them for direction. A broken heart hears old wounds and calls it discernment. A scared heart mistakes panic for responsibility. But when you rest in me, you finally begin to tell them apart. My precious child, after the storm, don't run right back into the noise. Don't rush to fill every quiet space with worry, constant checking, planning, and overthinking. Just let there be stillness. Let there be space for my quiet whisper to land. You don't have to figure everything out today. My child, my quiet voice might tell you to forgive, even when your pride wants to stay guarded. It may tell you to rest, even when fear demands endless striving. It may say to start over, even when shame tells you that you aren't ready. It may say, let go of the past, even when the familiar feels safe. It may tell you to wait, even when your impatience calls waiting weak. Do not fight my whisper just because it is soft. Gentleness holds true authority. Softness can carry clear direction. Peace can hold divine command. My beloved child, I know you are sometimes afraid of missing me. You worry about making the wrong choice, moving too fast, or waiting too long. But I never hide my will from a heart that wants to follow me. I am teaching you how to walk with me. I am showing you how to stay close, listen often, run back to me quickly, and trust that I always guide a humble soul. If you stumble, I will guide you back. If you get confused, I will clear the path. If you rush out of fear, I will draw you back to peace. My guidance is not fragile. I am your faithful Father. My child, when I whisper it, might not answer every single question. It may only give you one phrase, one quiet conviction, or a sudden, deep sense of peace, or one quiet invitation to let go. Do not ignore that. The greatest journeys start with a single whisper. A lamp doesn't light the entire road at once. It only lights up your very next step. Walk in the light you have, and more will find you as you move. There is zero shame in needing quiet space. Even Jesus went off to lonely places to pray, not because love was weak, but because deep connection mattered. If my son cherished quiet hours with me, do not hate the stillness I am inviting you into. It is not wasted time. It is the space where confusion loses its voice and your heart remembers home, a place where trusting me feels possible again, filled with peace, clarity, courage, and renewed hope. Today, my child, I want your spirit to be sensitive without feeling anxious. This sensitivity is not nervousness. It is a quiet, holy attention. Your soul simply leaning toward my presence. You do not seek me out of fear, but because you trust my love. Listen with the absolute confidence that I know how to lead you. You are my child. You are no orphan groping for clues in the dark. I am guiding you. Just breathe. Let the storm fade. Quiet your mind and let my voice be enough for now. My child, the new path ahead invites you to find me in more than grand displays. Look for me in quiet peace, in gentle restraint, and in simple trust. Feel my gentle nudges, that quiet pull toward what is true. Not every holy moment will shake the earth. Some are meant to soften your heart. That softness is vital. After the storm passes, I do not just speak to you. I begin to tend the hidden garden of your soul, watering dry soil and loosening what has grown hard. I am bringing back to life the seeds you thought were gone forever. Listen closely for my whisper. Let it guide you. I am ready to restore your soul. My child, as you tune your heart to my quiet whisper after the storm, let me take you deep inside a space I have never stopped caring for. To me, your soul is a beautiful garden. You are not a forgotten field. You are a garden where my patience dwells and where mercy bends to meet you. Here the future I planned can rise gently through healed, hopeful soil. My child, I know exactly what difficult seasons your soul has been through. You remember those sunlit days when hope felt natural and your heart bloomed effortlessly? Moments when faith was easy and prayers felt so close. Joy used to wash over you like cool morning air. I know those days feel distant now. Then came the dry times when waiting felt like scorching heat on parched ground. Seasons when disappointment gathered like dust on your most fragile hopes, and fear strangled your thoughts like a wild vine, keeping you captive. I watched over every inch of your inner landscape. My child, I never turned away from your dry ground, nor did I look at your tangled mess with disappointment. I didn't give up on the dark corners where you thought hope was dead. A true gardener never abandons a field just because weeds grow. A loving father doesn't reject his child when their heart is worn out by life's storms. I drew near then, and I am drawing near now. You have tried so hard to heal yourself. You frantically pulled at the weeds of anxiety. You tried to mask empty spaces with endless effort, desperately forcing hope to grow on your own. You blamed your own heart when healing took too long, wondering why you still felt empty after praying so much. But hear me gently now. You were never meant to carry this garden alone. There are deep, tangled roots in your heart that only I can reach. There are heavy stones buried below that only my hands can lift. I planted seeds deep inside you long ago, and I have never forgotten them. My child, when I restore your heart, the work does not always start with visible flowers. Often I begin by softening your hardened heart. I send gentle rain to soothe places stiffened by fear, unraveling the tight worries that have strangled your inner peace. Sometimes I start by teaching you to feel safe again after years of keeping your guard up. Do not rush this. True healing cannot be forced. My child, some of the weeds choking your heart are not even yours. They grew from harsh words spoken over you, from silent, unseen losses. They grew from delayed promises and times you felt completely forgotten. Some came from comparison, others from deep shame. Some took root when you believed you had to carry the weight of everything alone. I see the difference. I know exactly what to uproot, what to prune, and what to water. I know what must rest until the perfect time. My beloved child, trust me with your inner world. When I cut something away, I am not hurting you. I am making space for you to bloom. When I clear away old vines, I am not exposing you to pain. I am freeing you. The shaking is just preparing your heart. I am readying your soul for the beautiful things ahead. My child, you have memories that still hold painful shadows. Let me bring my gentle light there. There are old dreams covered in dust. Let me breathe fresh life into them. I know you avoid certain tender places out of fear that pain will return. You don't have to unlock every closed door today. Let us walk through your heart, slowly visiting one quiet corner, one memory, and one truth at a time. My child, please stop calling your dry places dead. Dryness is not the end. It is simply waiting for water. Empty spaces are not abandoned. Your emptiness means I am making room. The stillness does not mean you are stuck. My most profound work happens deep underground, completely unseen. Roots awaken long before leaves show. Soil softens before buds rise. Seeds must crack open in the dark before they find the light. So my child, please be gentle and patient with yourself. I am never rushed by your healing, nor am I upset because you are still growing. I do not measure your value by how fast you heal. I know the harsh weather you lived through. I saw the storms that bent you. I know the scorching heat that drained your strength. And I know how to heal you. Sometimes my grace is not felt as intense emotion, but as quiet peace conquering your fear. Sometimes it is just enough strength to pray. Sometimes it is the ability to forgive while acknowledging your pain. Sometimes it is a gentle whisper telling you to try again. Sometimes it is a single quiet truth rising inside you. God is still here. Do not overlook this tiny drop of grace. It is real, it is sacred, and it is enough to start your renewal. My child, I am restoring you to bring forth new life. But this life is not about constant busyness. True growth is finding peace where panic used to live. It is patience replacing anger, hope overtaking despair, and gratitude taking root in soil that once held only pain. It is kindness blooming from the very places hurt tried to freeze. This is true restoration. This is my love alive in you, my precious child. You will watch empty places transform simply because my presence has touched them. Your thoughts will soften, new desires will awaken, and a heavy weight will lift from you. The memories you once avoided will become sacred spaces of prayer. Moments of deep pain will transform into quiet wisdom. I will never waste a single part of your journey. In my hands, even your brokenness becomes fertile ground. The secret corners you hid will let my light pour in, and the tears you cried in secret will water your future. My child, let me keep tending to you. Do not grab the tools from my hand in fear. Do not demand instant flowers while I am strengthening your roots. Stop comparing your quiet growth to someone else's harvest. I know exactly what I planted deep inside you. I know when each seed will rise and the beautiful fragrance you will release. Stay open to my gentle touch. Stay soft under my rain. Remain willing to grow, my child. The hidden garden inside your heart is not a lost cause. I see you. I am watering the dry places. I am gently lifting what was bent and broken. I am calling life from those secret rooms you thought were silent. Soon I will show you that even the driest places can bloom when my breath touches them, just like a dead wooden staff once blossomed in my presence. My dear child, as I tend to your soul in this quiet room, remember something that once seemed completely dead and see what my presence can do. Aaron's wooden staff bloomed again. A dry, dead branch responded to my call. What looked over and done became proof of my living power. My child, a walking staff is never planted in soil. It had no roots in the ground. It was cut from a tree carried in a hand and seen by human eyes as nothing but dead wood. By every logical rule, it should never have blossomed. It should not have budded or produced fruit. Yet in my presence, it did. This is the truth I want your heart to hold. I am never limited by what looks dry. I am not limited by what others call finished. I am not limited by the years that seem stolen from you, my dear child. There are secret corners in your life you decided were too late. Dreams you stopped naming. Gifts you stopped expecting to grow. Hopes you hid away on a shelf because they seemed entirely cut off from life. You looked at those quiet rooms and whispered, "This is dry. The season has passed. I cannot bloom again." But I never agreed with that sentence. My child, do not judge the future of your heart by its present dryness. Dry does not mean dead. Silence does not mean I have abandoned you. Being hidden does not mean you are forgotten. Sometimes I let the dry things rest in my presence until the appointed night, when my life moves deep inside where no human hand can reach. That staff did not bloom because of human arguments or because someone forced it. It did not bloom because the wood tried harder. It bloomed because I chose it, and my choice carries life. My child, please stop exhausting yourself trying to force life into what only my breath can awaken. Your efforts and your obedience definitely have their place. Your faithfulness matters. But there are times you must lay down your efforts and trust my quiet presence to do what striving cannot. You cannot manufacture resurrection. You simply receive it. You cannot force a dry branch to grow through anxiety. You surrender it. The staff that bloomed was laid down in my quiet presence. It rested near my heart through the night. The miracle happened in the dark while no one was watching. No one stood there trying to force petals to open. No one explained it. No one controlled the moment. In the quiet, hidden darkness, I worked. And that is exactly how I have been working in you. In the nights, in the quiet, in the deep places no one sees. My child, there were times you thought nothing was changing because you saw no flowers. But beneath the silence, I was preparing life. I was touching your heart, restoring your desires, loosening old grief, and healing the fear that made you afraid to hope again. Do not hate the night when your heart must simply rest. Night is not empty space. Sometimes the dark is where I prepare the proof for the morning. My child, when morning came, the staff had not only budded, it blossomed and bore fruit. I do not give you tiny signs just to tease your hope. When my hand restores something, I bring real proof that life has returned. The tiny bud speaks of new beginnings. The flower speaks of beauty. The fruit speaks of purpose and maturity. I want that for you. Not just a fleeting feeling of hope, but a life that grows open and bears fruit. My dear child, some people will not understand when your dry places begin to bloom. They will remember who you used to be and where you seemed limited. They may still see only the dry wood. But my work does not need anyone's approval to be real. When I choose, I confirm. When I breathe, life answers. When I speak, the dry place must change. I can restore you without making a sound and confirm it without a show. My life does not depend on human strength or timing. My child, receive this truth with deep peace. Today, understand that this does not mean every old desire must return exactly as you imagined. Sometimes I restore what was lost. Sometimes I transform it entirely. I can make an old dream bloom in a new way, cleaner and wiser. Do not hold so tightly to the old shape that you miss the new life I am bringing. Trust how I restore. Trust the way I choose. Trust how I bring life to light. My child, what feels like a dry staff to you might be a relationship you thought could never soften again, a gift you thought was gone, a calling you believed passed you by, a joy that once felt natural, but now feels miles away, or a courage that broke under pressure. Bring it to me, not with panic and not with blame. Bring it with quiet trust. My child, I do not ask you to pretend the pain isn't real. I only ask you to stop letting the dryness have the final word. Tell me the truth in our quiet space. Father, this place feels empty. Father, this hope is so fragile. I do not know how life can return here. Then simply leave it with me and let my presence hold it. Let my love do what your hands cannot. My child, there is a beautiful surprise waiting. I am awakening life inside the very places you thought were broken forever. I am bringing flowers to life in your hidden inner room. Hope will rise. Faith will bloom. Courage and joy will return to you. Your wisdom will bear fruit. My child, receive this peace without striving. Stay close, but do not force it. Pray, but do not worry. Rest your heavy, dry staff before me. Trust that my presence is never passive. Even when you sleep, I am working. Even when you see nothing, I move. I am the God who makes dry wood bloom. I am the Father who wakes forgotten seeds. I am the gardener who knows exactly when your heart is ready. My dear child, let this truth settle deep in your soul. What I choose can bloom again. What I touch will live. Do not give permanent names to temporary seasons. Do not bury what I have not given up on. Do not mock the tiny bud when it appears. Rejoice gently. Guard it with care and let it grow. Just as you watch this dry wood burst into bloom, you will realize a deeper truth waiting for your soul. I have witnessed every secret struggle that led you to this moment. I have counted each of your tears, honored your faithful steps, and remembered the quiet battles no one else saw. My child, as you witness this lifeless branch bloom, I want you to understand why your tired heart can fully trust me with everything that comes next. I have watched every hidden war, every soft tear, and every silent choice to push forward when you were completely exhausted. To the world, you looked so calm and collected, but on the inside, you were struggling just to stay together while carrying heavy burdens all alone. You spoke with kindness even when your own soul desperately needed comfort. You kept showing up when you wanted to disappear, always choosing what was right, even when nobody knew how much energy it took. I saw everything. Nothing was hidden from my eyes, especially those late nights when sleep escaped your racing mind. I saw the heavy mornings when you woke up and felt that familiar burden settle in before your feet even touched the floor. You smiled to keep others safe while quietly begging me to hold you up. My sweet child, people look at the surface and think they know your entire story. They notice your efforts, your kind words, and your brave face moving forward. But I look deep beneath that surface. I see the silent wars raging in your mind. I see the dark paths you rejected and the bitterness you refused to let take root. I watch you bring your frustrations to me instead of hurting others. Never think those quiet wins are small. Heaven measures strength very differently than the world. My child, you stayed silent when fighting back would have been so easy. You could have cut them down with words sharp enough to wound. You had the power to expose their secrets, but you walked away to keep your heart pure in my sight. I witnessed your restraint, and I honored it. I saw you give when your own cup was dry. You listened when you needed a listening ear, lifting others up while your own faith was wavering. You prayed for their peace while your own soul trembled, loving people in hidden ways that never got noticed. I saw that. Not every sacrifice is meant for others to see. The deepest offerings are made in the quiet room of your heart. The choice not to quit, the choice to reject hatred, the resolve to walk away from old habits, to forgive slowly while the raw pain is still fresh, and to believe in my goodness, even when your whole life feels completely dry. Those small choices mattered. They were seeds of hope. They were true worship, proving that your heart was still leaning toward me. My child, I know you wondered if your quiet obedience was lost in the silence. You wondered if the tears you cried served any purpose at all. You wondered if those painful years of waiting were swallowed up by time. But hear me now. Nothing given to me is ever lost. I gathered what they ignored. I remembered what the world forgot, holding dear what nobody else applauded. My child, your tears were never wasted. They were watering a future you could not see yet. Your quiet faith was not in vain. It built the inner strength you will soon need. Your patience was not wasted. It taught you a deeper peace than panic. Your endurance was not wasted. It laid a deep, quiet foundation for the new life I am preparing. You are not starting over empty. You are stepping forward with profound depth. My child, your greatest strengths were forged during your weakest moments. When you believed you were barely surviving, I was gently teaching you how to rely on me. When you felt empty-handed, I was removing pride to make room for grace. When your prayers felt small, I heard a beautiful, sincere heart. My beloved child, I know your secret battles with fear. I heard the thoughts telling you that you would never change, the whispers claiming the door would never open, the memories replaying your past mistakes, and the constant pressure trying to rush you ahead of my perfect timing. You fought those dark lies with trembling faith, sometimes only whispering my name. That soft whisper reached my ears. I saw how hard you fought to keep your heart soft. The world urged you to harden your heart. Pain told you to shut down. Betrayal warned you never to trust, and delays whispered that hope was dead. Yet deep inside, you kept a tiny space open for me. You still wanted to hear my voice. You still craved real peace and dared to hope, however carefully. That vulnerability is not a weakness. It is holy ground. My child, do not regret the quiet battles because they have prepared you for a deeper, quiet strength. You do not need a loud, boasting confidence to be powerful. You just need a heart anchored in me. You do not have to appear perfect to be faithful. You only need to run back to my presence when you tremble. I saw you return over and over, and every step back became part of your healing. My child, you did not force doors open even when you desperately wanted answers. You refused shortcuts that would have been so much easier to take. You rejected cheap compromises even when doing the right thing cost you comfort. I know the steep price of those decisions. I know what you gave up. I know the dreams you surrendered to me because you refused to build your life outside my will. I have not forgotten your sacrifice. My child, when I tell you a new season is starting, I say it as the one who has walked with you every step of the way. I do not speak from afar. I speak as the one who carried you through each dark valley. I know exactly what you survived and what almost shattered your confidence. I heard the desperate prayers wept in the dark and the silence when your words completely ran out. Yet here you are, still listening, still reaching out to me and still ready to receive. My sweet child, let that bring you deep peace today. Real faith often looks incredibly quiet, just getting up again, choosing peace one more time, and offering a single honest prayer. I cherish even that, my child. I have watched every secret battle, and I'm turning those private struggles into quiet strength. The things that tried to bury you have only made you deeper. What tried to silence you taught you how to listen. What tried to turn your heart to stone has made my gentle love so much sweeter. The struggles that tried to make you give up are now part of your beautiful testimony. Rest deeply in this truth. You were seen, you were held, and you were never fighting alone. Soon I will lead you to another hurting soul who feels lost in the wilderness, so you can show them that I am the God who sees. Just as I am opening your own eyes right now to the mercy, love, and light that have actually been closer to you than you ever could have known. My child, as you rest here knowing I see your secret struggles, let me guide your heart to a quiet desert where another tired soul once found me. Hagar believed she was completely invisible, but I saw her. My child, she was not standing in a place of honor when I reached her. No comfort shielded her. She stood in the dust, carrying fear, deep pain, exhaustion, and a future she could not make sense of. Pushed into a space where every hand felt out of reach. The land looked hollow. The path ahead was a blur, and her strength was gone. Yet I still watched over her. There are moments in your life when your soul feels just like Hagar, surrounded by crowds, but completely alone. You keep going doing what you must, yet feeling forgotten. You carry heavy burdens alone, wondering if anyone actually sees how exhausted you really are. I understand. I see you. I do not need you to explain your pain before I step in. Hagar had no perfect prayer to offer. No strong words, no master plan. She only had her deep need and her silent tears. She had a child to protect and no strength left to find a way. She ran from the pain, fearing it would shatter her. But I knew what she could not hold, and heard her cry before it formed. I know the same about you. I see where you have hit your limit. I see those quiet times when you retreat because you cannot bear to watch another hope die. I hear the silent fears you hide, worrying they make you look too weak. You are never invisible to me in that space. You are not left alone in this desert. The dry seasons can make you believe help is far away. They focus your eyes only on the heat, the dust, and what you lack. An exhausted soul cannot see clearly. Fear blinds you, grief steals your expectation, and exhaustion makes even the closest rescue feel completely out of reach. But I am the God who restores sight. I opened her eyes and she saw a well. Her panic did not build it. My mercy revealed it. Sometimes the answer is right beside you, but tiredness has clouded your vision. Your next step is close, but fear has placed a heavy veil over it. Your help is already here, but pain has trained you to expect nothing. I do not blame you for that. I bring back your vision. When I opened Hagar's eyes, I gave her more than water. I promised her that her story would not end in this dry place. I showed her that this wasteland was no match for my love. Being away from human help did not hide her from my eyes. I am showing you the same thing today. Your quiet desert cannot outlast my presence. Your empty spaces cannot drain my supply. Your fear cannot break my word. You may have called this season completely dead. You might have looked at your life and said, nothing good can grow in this place. You believed that a dry season could never hold an answer. But I know how to put a well in a desert, hiding mercy in the hardest ground. I bring life to places where despair had already written the end. Do not let this dry ground speak louder than my voice. Hagar learned that I am the God who sees. That name was not discovered in comfort. It was born in a moment of absolute distress. This matters deeply. You often discover my most beautiful names in the very places you never wanted to step. You know me as provider when you have nothing left. You know me as comfort when grief sits beside you, and as guide when you lose the way. You find me as the God who sees when others overlook you. Do not despise what this desert has shown you about my nearness. I did not lead you here to break you. I came to meet you showing that my love is not limited to easy spaces, peaceful days, or simple roads. I live in the dry ground too. I am here in your tears, your broken plans, and your hidden future. Lift your head slowly. You do not have to fake your joy. I am not asking you to pretend this season did not hurt you deeply. I am only asking to help you see clearly. Let me show you the well, the path, and the mercy you missed, while fear filled your vision. Help is closer than your despair whispered. Grace is deeper than this dryness. There is a future waiting, and you will soon see what this time produced. Do not stand by my mercy while only speaking of lack. Do not let past disappointments keep you from drinking my provision. Your heart is so used to just surviving that receiving feels strangely. Let me teach you to receive again. Take my comfort. Take my guidance. Take strength for today and welcome hope without apologizing. I am not done working in your quiet spaces. What felt like the end will become proof that I saw you when you felt invisible. Your place of weeping is becoming the place where you see. The ground you feared would swallow your hope will be where you discover my deep devotion to you. I see you, I hear you, I hold you. This truth must settle deeper than your anxiety. I see the quiet battles and the empty places inside. I see the dry path and the well waiting. I see your tears and the life waiting past them. Breathe, lift your head, look closely. The God who saw Hagar sees you. The help you thought was gone is closer than your tired eyes can see. As you realize I am here in this quiet place, Let me show you my perfect timing. I am not asking you to drag yourself forward on your own. The tide beneath your life is starting to rise, and soon your stranded boat will lift on my chosen waters with deep, quiet peace. As you see the well I placed in your desert, I want you to see how I am moving you from where you felt stuck. The waters are rising beneath you right now. You do not have to drag yourself over dry sand or prove your strength. You have felt like a ship pulled ashore after heavy storms. The winds beat you. The waves crashed hard against your sides, and the journey left deep scars you cannot explain. To others, you looked still maybe even forgotten. But I stepped into your quietest room and saw the exhausting journey you survived. I know every hidden scar and where the heavy pressure wore you thin. I understood why your heart needed absolute silence before you could move again. My child, I did not lead you to this quiet shore to leave you. I brought you here to heal what the storms broke. Sometimes you must step away from the deep water. It is not because you are useless, but because you are being quietly mended for what lies ahead. This stillness feels like rejection, but it is actually my protection. I am strengthening your weary soul from the inside. Do not hate this quiet place. This shore is not your grave. It is your sanctuary. For so long in the secret chambers of your mind, you have tried to force your own way forward. You struggled, calculated, worried, and pulled at the heavy ropes until your soul grew completely exhausted. You believed that if you just tried a little harder, things would finally budge. You hoped your endless worry could somehow hurry the tide. But that is not how my love works. I do not want you scraping against the dry sand. I will raise the deep water beneath you. When my timing begins to move, what felt impossible starts to shift naturally. The burdens that felt too heavy suddenly feel light because I have shifted the space around you. Your problems did not magically shrink, but my quiet strength has slipped right underneath them. This is how I lead you forward, gently and correctly. I do not always take away the load. Instead, I place my deep grace beneath what you carry, making progress possible again. Listen closely. This shift is not a panic. It is perfect timing. It does not happen because you cry out in fear. It comes because I command the seasons, and you cannot rush my deep waters before their time. But when that moment arrives, everything that was stuck begins to lift. What was frozen starts to move, and the stillness turns into a quiet current of purpose. This is what I am doing in your quietest spaces. Do not mistake my gentle rising with the harsh pressure of the world. The world screams demands and pulls with heavy ropes. It tells you to rush to perform and to fear being forgotten. But my presence does not yell at you. My presence simply lifts you up. It carries what fear could never budge, and holds what striving could never free. You will know it is me because a quiet peace will fill your movements, even in the midst of action. This is not escaping your duties. It is quiet rest beneath your responsibilities. As my waters rise, you will start to notice soft shifts. A chaotic thought becomes quiet. A locked heart opens up. A weary part of your soul feels hope again, and distant doors suddenly look reachable. An ancient heaviness finally lets go. A quiet courage returns, not loud or boastful, but soft and real. Do not ignore these silent moments. They are the very first ripples of my grace beneath you, proof that I am working where your eyes cannot see. I know how much you fear stepping into another storm. You remember the crushing weight of old disappointments and sudden painful changes. And those times you thought you were safe, only to be knocked down again. I do not dismiss your fear. I meet it with my soft presence. This tide is not here to drown you, but to lift you. Surrendering to me does not mean giving up. It means letting go into the current I provide. You cannot experience the deep path I made if you cling desperately to the dry sand. A part of your heart still wants to cling to the shallow edge because the familiar is comforting. Sometimes even pain feels safe when it is all you know. But I did not heal you just to leave you on the edge of your destiny. Let go of the dry ground. Let my rising water carry you forward now. Let my perfect timing quiet your fear of moving forward. When the waters rise, you do not have to change who you are to be worthy. You are still you, but you are held differently now. You still keep your story, your quiet lessons, your tender heart, your scars, and your fragile faith. But your life will no longer be defined by feeling trapped. You will not live grounded by old wounds. You will move again, but this time with deep wisdom, with quiet peace, and with me. There are parts of your soul that cannot bloom while you are still tied to your old survival modes. Your true purpose lies beyond this shallow water. There are deep spaces of healing, quiet influence, and beautiful inheritance waiting for you. I will never push you harshly. I only ask you to trust the lift of my grace. Do not fight the blessings you asked me for. Do not fear the answer just because it begins to shift. Do not call this rising water a danger when it is actually my mercy. I am building a foundation under you now through deep peace wisdom and the right people, through open doors returning strength and my quiet spirit who holds what you cannot carry on your own. You can finally breathe now. You do not have to drag this heavy load. You are being lifted. As your soul begins to float, the dry shore might still be in sight, and you might still remember the cold pain of being trapped. Old, anxious thoughts will whisper, asking if you can really trust this movement. Let them fade away. Look only at me. I am the one who guides these waters, and I know the way. I know your safe harbor, and I know the exact path. Trust my hand. The tide is rising in your quiet spaces because my promise is no longer just a word to hear. It is turning into a path to follow. Your restored strength is becoming readiness, and your secret healing is transforming into motion. The silent work I did in your deepest parts is finally carrying you forward. So let go. Float where you once struggled, move where you felt frozen, and believe where you once simply survived. This tide is rising with holy purpose, not to wash you away, but to carry you deep into what is yours. And as my grace lifts your life, you will realize I am not just shifting your external circumstances. I am leading your weary soul into your true inheritance, into the quiet authority and sacred purpose I laid out for you before you even knew how to ask. As my waters rise beneath your soul, and my grace carries what you could never budge alone, I want you to see where we are going. Step into your inheritance, and do not stand outside your own blessings as if they belong to someone else. Stop looking at my promises from a distance, whispering to yourself that you are not worthy. My child, this inheritance is not a prize you have to steal. It is a quiet gift to receive. It is not a trophy to boast about, but a sacred trust placed gently into your surrendered hands. I am not leading you here to make you loud or careless. I am calling you back to the true identity I wrote for you long before fear ever tried to define you. You do not have to live on scraps or settle for leftovers anymore. You are my deeply loved child. So many have misunderstood this gift. I know the world thinks blessing means comfort without responsibility or favor without surrender. But what I place in your quiet hidden room is holy. What I entrust to you carries eternal purpose. This new season I am opening for you is not just to give you relief. It is for your healing, your growth, and the souls I will touch through your quiet obedience. True inheritance is more than what you receive. It is what you learn to care for. Remember Joshua, my child. He stood at the edge of a promise spoken long before he crossed over. Behind him lay the wilderness, painful lessons, graves, and daily miracles. Before him stood new responsibilities, obedience, and a future that demanded deep courage. The promise was real, yet he still had to take that step. That is exactly where you stand now. You are not at this edge because I forgot you. I brought you here myself, my beloved. The threshold of your promise feels holy and terrifying because the old painful place was at least familiar. This new space holds beautiful promises, but it also demands complete trust. That is why so many turn back when the door finally swings open. They begged for freedom, but when it called them to move, fear made their old chains look safer. Do not crawl back to captivity just because it is familiar. Do not cling to a wilderness mindset when I am calling you into your promise. I see the quiet doubts rising in your heart, the secret fear that you are not ready. What if I fail? What if I cannot carry the weight of what is coming? What if they see my weakness and the blessing becomes too much to bear? Bring those silent fears to me. Do not let them rule you. True readiness is not the absence of trembling. It is simply your willingness to let me lead. As I bring you into this promise, I am teaching you to walk in real authority. Not to feed your ego and not to control, crush, or show off to others. I mean a quiet, holy authority, the power to guard your own heart in my light, to say no to fear, no to old shame, and yes to my gentle voice. Authority begins within. Before you stand in a new place, you must learn to stand in truth. Step into your promise with a pure, quiet heart. Do not go in to prove your doubters wrong or to make others praise what I have done for you. Do not enter carrying resentment for the years that hurt you. Those bitter feelings will poison your new soil. Enter with thankfulness, knowing every good gift comes from my hand. My child, your breakthrough might not look like what you pictured. It may not be a massive stage. It could simply be a restored rhythm in your home, a quiet new assignment, a peaceful mind, a restored relationship, a creative passion, or a deeper, silent faith, or a small place of influence. Do not reject my gifts because they came in a package your pride did not expect. I know exactly what you need. I know how to bless others through you. I am not giving you this portion to make you self-sufficient, but to draw you into an even deeper dependence on me. It is easy to cry out in times of lack, but few stay close during times of abundance. Many seek me in the dark, then forget me when the sun rises. I want your heart close when the pressure lifts, when peace returns and your path opens. Stay near in the promise. Stay beautifully humble in the blessing. Stay prayerful in this open space. You must leave behind the vocabulary of insignificance. Do not whisper that you cannot do this when I am simply asking you to trust. Stop saying you do not belong when I have called you my own. Do not claim this is too much without remembering that my grace fully covers whatever I ask of you. This new season may be larger than your past, but my presence is far larger than any territory. Taking possession requires you to move. You cannot claim a promise by just staring at it. You have to take that next step of obedience. Even if a deep river stands between us right now, I know exactly how to carry you across. A massive wall may rise, but I can bring it down. A giant may threaten you, but I will strengthen the heart that trusts me. Never let the scale of your challenge blind you to the scale of your God. My precious one, I am calling you to receive this favor without guilt. You have lived in survival mode so long that peace feels wrong. You are so used to heavy burdens that blessings feel strange. But when I give, receive it with gratitude. Do not reject grace just because suffering felt normal. Let me teach you to receive like a child, without greed or fear, unashamed, deeply grateful, and responsible. This new path requires wise stewardship. Protect it through prayer, build slowly with patience, and share what you have with discernment. Guard what is sacred. Protect your heart from comparison and never look at someone else's harvest while overlooking your own. I plant unique seeds in every life. I bring the harvest in my own perfect timing. Your share is not insignificant because it is yours. It is holy because I chose it. Step forward with quiet reverence. The waters are rising beneath you for a reason. Every silent struggle, every dry season, the wilderness, and now this open door, it has all led to this moment. Not to make you boastful, but to make you faithful. You are not just escaping your past. You are walking into your true purpose. This is more than mere relief. You are taking on a sacred responsibility wrapped in beautiful grace. So stand tall as my beloved. Walk as one who is guided, receiving and stewarding with deep love. Do not look back as if that old, painful season still owns you. As you step into this promise, let me gather these words into a final prayer of confirmation and a holy invitation to walk with me. My precious child, as you step toward the future I have prepared, I want to bring every single word of this message into a final place of deep peace. This is not where my care ends. It is where our new journey begins. Do not close your heart now. Do not shrink back into old fears as if I have not spoken. My beloved, I called you to this quiet space to listen. I have shown you that your appointed season is here. Your waiting was never wasted. I am making all things new, and a door is opening after your long silent trials, and a soul that felt cast aside can rise again by my power. I am telling you now to stop calling yourself a failure. I have declared that what I open, no one can shut. I have brought you holy acceleration, quiet callings, deep healing, and my still small voice, restoring your soul, blooming in dry deserts, fighting your silent battles. I have seen your tears in the wilderness, and I have prepared a beautiful inheritance waiting right before you. Receive this deep truth now. I am with you. I have always been with you, and I will walk beside you. Do not let these words fade like a passing emotion. Let this moment anchor your spirit. Let it prove that heaven knows exactly where you are. Your Father has watched every single step of this long, heavy road. The silent obedience, the tears, the fading hope you fought to keep alive, and the quiet strength you drew from me when your own was gone. You will not walk out of this moment the same way you entered. A new word has been spoken. A quiet fire has been lit inside you. Your hands are no longer empty. My child, this next chapter will still call for trust. It will ask for quiet listening, patience, and deep humility, wisdom and raw courage. I do not promise a life free of heavy tasks, but I promise to stand beside you in them. Not every step will be explained. I only promise that my whisper will guide a heart that lets go. So tread softly where I tell you to move slow. Step out boldly where I give you quiet peace. Let go of what I ask you to drop. Accept what I lay out for you, my child. When old fears whisper, answer with truth. When shame tries to define you again, remember the beautiful robe of belonging I wrapped around you. When waiting makes you doubt, when the door finally cracks open, do not flee back to the dark hallway just because it feels safe. You were never meant to dwell beside closed doors. You were made to walk right by my side. Let us enter the quiet place together now. Father, I step forward with open hands and a quiet soul. I lay down the heavy burden of the years I could not make sense of. I bring you the long waiting, the secret battles, and the dry, lonely wilderness, the shattered hopes and the fragile dreams I was too terrified to voice. I am not hiding anymore. My whole life is yours. Please heal what still hurts. Rebuild what fear has slowly chipped away. Pour water onto my dry soul. Show me the hidden wells you have put right beside me. Lift me up when the time is right. Help me hear your gentle whisper when the storm clears. Father, I let go of every lie I believed. I release the labels of failure, forgotten, and too late. I let go of the lie that I am not enough and every word that was not yours. Speak your truth over me. Tell me I am loved, seen, and held tight. Call me chosen for the path you laid out. Show me how to step into my true calling without pride or fear. Keep me humble to receive your wisdom, brave to obey, and filled with a soft, thankful heart. May every open door bring me closer to your side. Let my blessings serve others, not my own ego. Father, I will not force doors that only you can open. I will not run ahead of your perfect timing. I refuse to hold back out of fear of old wounds. Guide me with peace, correct me with mercy, and hold me up with grace. Let my life show that you still restore, that you still open closed doors, bring life to dry deserts, and always see the child lost in the dark woods. My dear child, take this prayer deep into your soul. Let it breathe. Do not rush away from this quiet sanctuary where we are meeting right now. Rest in knowing that I do not need you to change before I love you. I love you exactly as you are, and that love will fuel your journey. The next step is simple. Take that step with me. The next door might look small, but do not look down on it. Your healing may come softly. Let it happen. My next word will be quiet. Just listen close. My child, I pour peace over your path, clarity into your mind, courage into your heart, and quiet wisdom into your hands. I fill your home with my presence. I promise that no hard season can break my plan, and no delay can stop the moment I have chosen for you. I see you. I guide you. You are never falling behind when you are in my hands. My child, when you close this, do not leave our quiet room. Take this stillness into your night, your morning, your choices, and your daily work. Let the truth we spoke here guide your hands. Let it shape how you speak to your own soul, how you wait, and how you move. If this quiet room brought you real comfort and hope, please stay connected to this channel. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and come back whenever your soul needs a peaceful place to hear a word of pure faith. Share these words with someone who feels invisible right now. A simple whisper can become a deep well in their dry wilderness. Hold on to this truth, my child. The beautiful surprise I promised is not just some external change. It is the sacred realization that you are still held, still called, still deeply loved, and fully able to rise. My voice speaks life and peace over you, and I am not done. The door is opening. The tide is coming in. Your soul is being refreshed, and your future lies ahead. Step forward with me, not in fear, but in pure peace. You are not abandoned. You are deeply loved. You do not have to prove anything anymore. You are covered in grace. I am right here with you. And the good work I started inside you, I will finish with endless, faithful love.